Namaste. Namaste. I think, I was told to expect a very less number today because of the India-Pakistan match that is happening currently. So anyway, since there are a few people, I think that's much enough for us. We can start. We can continue. आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्. So the story so far has been that Bharata came forward. Bharata did his best, his level best, to get Rama back to Ayodhya. But after the debate, it was decided that Bharata should head back to Ayodhya. So Bharata went to Ayodhya. He left his people there. He asked his people to remain there. And then he asked his soldiers and his people who were surrounding him that, why are you not carrying the chatram, the chamaram, and all the other things that associate with a king? So you think there is no king here? Here is the king in a different form. He was referring to Rama's Paduka. So then he went and lived a life of a sage, just like how his brother was living in the jungle. Even Bharata stayed in the same way on the outskirts of Ayodhya. So he did not stay in Ayodhya because Ayodhya was a city. He was forbidden to, he himself had taken that vow that he shall not live in the city, just like his brother Rama. So he stayed in Nandigrama and he started ruling instead of Rama. But every order needs to be passed by Rama Paduka. So that's the greatness of Paduka. We hear so much about Paduka and Guru Paduka and all those things. So the person who gave this idea about Paduka was Valmiki. Just imagine, 14 years, the kingdom was so prosperous under Bharata's rule, under Bharata's administration. It was all because of the strength, of the power, of the caliber that Rama Paduka had. Now, the story of Bharata, the episode of Bharata ends here. So we have to bid goodbye to one of the greatest ever characters ever written in any literature, Bharata. We have to bid a formal goodbye to Bharata, but we will meet him again in the end of Yuddhakandam. So until then, we have to close Bharata's chapter. Moving on, now, Rama, Lakshmana and Sita, they were staying in Chitrakuta. Now, Chitrakuta was made accessible to people by Bharata, all thanks to Bharata. So every single person in Ayodhya knew Rama's location. Now, Rama was worried about it. And at the same time, there were several sages who had accompanied him, who came to Rama, and they all asked him that, we have been troubled by some of the demons, some of the Rakshasas here. So we would like to come with you. Is it okay with you? And Rama said, okay, fine, you're always welcome. And then they said that, we are all leaving this place. It's no more safe to live here. So if you are fine with it, then you can come with us. You can accompany us. We are moving. Our entire fraternity is moving from this jungle. So if it is okay with you, you can definitely accompany us. That's what the sages said. Rama said, absolutely, I would love to accompany you. And then they started. And then they went their different paths. He meets some other sages in the upcoming minutes. He went and saw Atri, sage Atri, one of the most famous Maharshis, Atri Maharshi. Now, the thing is not about the meeting of Rama and Atri here. The prominence is about the meeting of Sita and Anasuya. Anasuya was Atri's wife. Anasuya was introduced by Atri himself to Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita. You just have to see how he introduces his wife. So if anybody thought that, this patriarchal thought, this male domination thing It's a very, it's imbibed in the people. It's very wrong. Just look at the way how Atri introduces his wife to Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita. He says that when this entire world was facing a huge problem, the problem was it was a natural disaster. The disaster was that it was not raining for several years, not 1 or 2 years. It had not rained for around 10 years, 10 years without rain. That was the situation in the world. And the rivers had run dry. Every creature was suffering. And at this time, it was because of Anasuya's tapasya, it was because of Anasuya's penance that there were not only rains, but she also made the rivers which were dry, she made them to flow again. So that is Anasuya for you. And why was she called as Anasuya? That was not her birth name. That was not her given name. She gained the title of Anasuya because she did the tapasya for 10,000 years, where all her vratas included Anasuya. Anasuya, the exact meaning of the word Anasuya is being non-envious, being non-jealous of someone else. Now that shows the importance of how difficult it is to be not envious of someone else. Because it took a woman of such caliber, of that great caliber, so many years to gain control over that. So it's not an easy thing. It's definitely not an easy thing at all. So this was Anasuya. Now, Atri introduces Anasuya to Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita, and he says that let Sita meet Anasuya. Let them have their space. She needs to visit, she needs to pay her a visit, and she needs to learn a few things from Anasuya. So Sita obliged, and Sita went to Anasuya. Now the conversation shifts from Rama, Atri, and Lakshmana to Sita and Anasuya. Valmiki is not at all interested in the conversation of Rama and Atri. He does not even mention about them. He directly shifts, he moves to Sita and Anasuya. Anasuya welcomes her. She was like a small girl, like a baby girl in front of Anasuya. She was an old lady. She was a very old lady. So she asks, I hope you are not having second thoughts about your husband, Rama. Why did she ask this? Because usually it is in the nature of women. Please excuse me. I see that today there are a more number of women in the class, but I'm very sorry if it offends you, but this is how Anasuya says it. Because mostly women have this tendency to leave a man who has nothing, who has lost everything. They don't prefer to be on the losing side. Women never prefer to be on the losing side. So if you ever want to pick a team which wins, so just follow a woman, follow her thoughts. So you will know whom to pick, because they usually pick the winning horse. That's their gift, God-given gift. So in the same way, I hope that you are not following the natural tendency, and you are not having second thoughts about leaving Rama. Why? Because you married him as a prince of Ayodhya. You were promised to be the queen one day, but now you are in the jungle. You are in the middle of the jungle. You are nowhere close to the throne. So if it has ever felt that you should leave Rama, please don't. That was the intention behind Anasuya's question. Now, Sita responds to this. She replies back. She says that, how can I leave Rama? I mean, only a fool would leave Rama. That's the answer given by Sita. See, it is a duty. It is a woman's duty not to abandon her husband. Totally agree. But at the same time, if the husband is like Rama, who would even think, who would even dream about leaving Rama? He is such a great person. He is such a great man that he sees every other woman in the form of his mother. He sees that that matritvam, that motherhood in every other woman. So how can he think about any other woman? So that's the kind of character that Rama has. And I have learned this at my birthplace, as well as in my sasural, that is, in my father-in-law's place, that you should always stay close to your husband. You should never abandon your husband. So I'm not going to abandon him. So Anasuya was very impressed. She was relieved, and also she was happy to hear that this parampara, this tradition, is going to live for a very long time. So the same kind of happiness that maybe our grandparents enjoy when they see us in the path of dharma, because it's a huge responsibility. We don't know that we have that responsibility. We get to know that responsibility when we become old. When we see our children, we don't even care about our children. When we see our grandchildren, and if they are not in the right path, if they are not in the righteous path, and if they are going away from that path, now it really irks, it really hurts people's sentiments, because that is when, even if it is that late, they realize that they have done wrong. They must have given some good samskaras, some good culture to their sons and daughters. So Anasuya was relieved. She was a relieved woman. And then she asked Sita about her Swayamvara. So Sita elaborated that story. I think it would be a repetition for you people, so that's why I'm going to skip that part. So she narrated how she was found by Janaka, and how she was raised in Janaka's palace, and how she got married to Rama, and all those things. And at the end of it, Anasuya was very pleased. She was very happy. So she said that I want to give you something. And she gave her some beautiful ornaments, some divine ornaments. She gifted it. She endowed it to Sita. And Sita accepted it. And Anasuya's wish was, I want to see you decorated with these ornaments. So Sita had to put on those ornaments, and Anasuya was very happy. So thus ends the second and also the second largest kandas of Ramayana. Ayodhya Kandam ends with this beautiful note. Now, the most crucial kanda where the heartbreak happens, that begins now. Aranya Kanda begins now. Now, with all the other sages, Rama decided to move from Chitrakuta to Dandakaranyam. Even to this day, Dandakaranyam, the area of Dandakaranyam is very much secure. Most part of it is secure. It falls somewhere near Madhya Pradesh, the borders of Madhya Pradesh. And this is exactly where the Jungle Book was created. The idea of Jungle Book was created by, I think it was Rudyard Kipling. I don't remember the name exactly, by the author. And it was created in this forest area. It's very much intact even to this day, most part of it. And it's not very far from Chitrakuta. It's very nearby. It's somewhere near the border. So it was easy for them to move from Chitrakuta to Dandakaranya. All the sages who used to live in Dandakaranya were somehow very tired. Why were they tired? Because they were constantly pestered, troubled, and terrorized by the terrorists of that age. I mean to say, the Rakshasas. They used to terrorize these sages for no reason, because that was their job. Okay, so they all decided to come and meet Rama. They met him, and they said that we want to meet you again. So we will accompany you. We want to show you the path of Dandakaranya. So it was all right. So they were following their own set of path, and Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita, they were walking by themselves. They were together, but not that much together that they walked the same path, because they had some other rituals and other things to take care of. So but they used to move from place to place, because you should remember that they cannot move all day long. They have to choose the time to move from one place to another place. And there were no carriages or ratha or chariots or anything. No private jets, nothing. They have to go by walk. So they have to choose the path. They have to choose the time. It would be raining some days. So you can understand it would take them a long time to reach from one place to another place. So one fine day, when Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita were walking, all of a sudden there appeared a Rakshasa in front of them. His name was Viradha. Not Virodha, his name was Viradha. He was a huge person. And all he did was, he simply took Sita and he started to run away. And he asked Rama and Lakshmana, who are you? Who are you two? I don't think that she deserves to be with you people. She belongs to me. She would be my wife. You people get lost. But before you get lost, do tell me who are you? Rama was very much upset because this is the first time. This is a message, that a hidden message given to us, a hint given to us by the great poet, what is going to come up in future, what is going to happen in this kanda. Because that's why the first act, the opening act of third kanda, Aranya Kanda, begins like this: Sita being kidnapped in a different way. Actually, she was being held like a kid by Viradha. And then when Viradha asked Rama and Lakshmana, they gave their introduction. And then Viradha said that, since you have answered my question, it becomes my obligation to tell you who am I. So even he started narrating about himself. He said that my name is Viradha, okay, and I am the ruler of this part of the jungle. Nobody passes this jungle without my permission. So you have come to this place, and she is mine. And I see that you people are carrying, you both are carrying some weapons. No weapon can kill me. You cannot kill me with bows and arrows. And then he started. Sita is perplexed. She has no clue what is happening. This is happening for the first time. Imagine she was with Rama for the whole time, for all this while. And all of a sudden, somebody comes, and as Rama and Lakshmana stand there, somebody takes Sita, and then he starts moving. Now, Rama was not about to give up this easily. If you think so, you are wrong. Rama thought that this is the end of it. I think this is what was bound to happen when we entered the forest. This is why I told Sita to stay back in Ayodhya. He started speaking like this. He almost lost. He lost that hope. But don't worry. As I told you, Lakshmana is there always. He's like Prajagara. He always stays awake. So he said that, why are you being so helpless? Am I not here? Why do you think I am here? I am capable enough to bring back Sita, and I will kill this fellow, whoever it is. He may look big, but he cannot go invincible. He cannot not be defeated. He definitely can be defeated, and I'm going to kill him. Don't worry. And then Rama also got that enthusiasm. He got that confidence back. And then both of them started shooting arrows at Viradha. And Viradha, in response, he took a Shulayudham, and then he threw at both Rama and Lakshmana. Rama was able to cut that Shulayudham, but then he started moving. Viradha was moving and fighting with these two young men. Finally, Rama had an idea, because he had told, Viradha had mentioned that it's impossible to kill him with bows and arrows, isn't it? During his introduction, by slip of tongue or wantingly or unwantingly, Viradha had already told. So Rama and Lakshmana, what they did was, they somehow managed to get Sita back from Viradha, because they threw so much of arrows at Viradha. He had to leave Sita down. He had to keep Sita down as soon as it happened. So this was the opportune moment. Rama gave instructions to Lakshmana that let's get on him. So Rama occupied the right shoulder of Viradha, and on the left side, Lakshmana sat. And Sita was left alone by these two brothers. What is exactly happening? She had no clue whatsoever, because Rama did not care to share the idea, the tactic, the strategy that he had in his mind with Sita. So Sita was there. She started crying. She started shouting. She said, why are you two leaving me behind? What is going on? What is your plan? The plan was very simple. They took their knives out. They took their khadga, the swords. They took their swords out and they cut his shoulders. Both these shoulders were cut. After this, the moment his shoulders were cut, he said that Yes. You have done the right thing, Rama. I knew who you were. I know that you are Rama. This is your brother Lakshmana, and this is Sita. I just asked you to reaffirm myself, to confirm myself that it is you, because I could not believe, because I have been waiting for you for this long. Who is he originally? He was a Gandharva originally. Sorry, he was a Yaksha originally. Sorry. He was a Gandharva originally. His name was Tumburu. His original name is Tumburu, and he was cursed. So because he was cursed by Kubera, he became this Rakshasa. He became like what he was. Now that he is fine, he said that you have to put me beneath the earth. I have to put my dead body beneath the earth. That is the only way to allow me to get back to my original form. His original form is of a Gandharva. So both Rama and Lakshmana did the same thing. And then they got back, they came back, they took Sita, and then they started their journey. This is a brief road hump kind of thing that is going to happen. It keeps on happening from now on. So after this, Rama says that this is a very difficult path. This is one of the toughest junctions of our life. The 14 years that we are about to spend, it is going to be filled with such kind of circumstances. We are definitely going to face these kind of things, many more to come. This is not the end of it. This is just the beginning. This was just a trailer. So Rama knew this. And then they started their journey again. They continued their journey. They reached Sharabhanga, sage Sharabhanga's ashrama. Sharabhanga's ashrama was covered with so many devatas. All the gods had assembled there. Why? Because Sharabhanga had achieved all that a man needs to achieve. So he was about to reach Brahmaloka. So to take him to Brahmaloka, the gods had assembled. The king of the gods, Indra, had assembled. He was there. Rama saw those horses, those things, and he and Lakshmana, they started speaking. Do you remember? We had heard about this. We had seen this before. So this is what, I think this is how exactly they look, isn't it? We had studied this back in our school days, how the horses of Indra look like. So see, they are exactly like that. They were still young men, right? So they were curious, and as they were speaking, Indra did not want to appear in front of them. He had some other job to take care of. So he left that place. And then they met Sharabhanga, sage Sharabhanga. Sharabhanga was very happy. He said that, welcome to my ashrama. I was waiting just for you. Anybody who meets Rama was saying this, because everybody knew that Rama has come to live in the forest. So they wanted to catch a glimpse of him. So when he finally arrived, he said that I have gained all the lokas. So I want to give all the lokas that I have gained through the tapasya, through penance, to you. I want to give it to you. Rama said, I'm so much honored with your offer, but ahameva harishyami sarvan lokan mahamne. I would like to gain gain access to those internal kingdom all by myself. I would appreciate if you can show me where to live in this jungle, a suitable place for us. That's all I'm seeking from you today. I do not want your tapasya phalam. I don't want the fruits of your tapasya that easily, because I'm a Kshatriya and I'm capable enough. So I would very simply, I would say no to your offer. So after this, he showed them the place, and he said that you can live in this ashram as well, because I'm anyway vacating this place. So why don't you stay here? It's anyway free. It's anyway khali. So why don't you stay here? He said, no, we would find some place. And then Sharabhanga went to Brahmalokam. Everything happened. Now comes the most important part. Many sages had already assembled there. They had sent some messages to some of their other counterparts. They had all appeared there. They had to meet Rama. So a meeting was arranged between Rama and sages. They were very much hesitant to speak to Rama. They said that, Rama, we are unable to ask you something, but I'm sure that whether you are in the city, whether you are sitting on the throne or whether you are roaming in the forest, you are always our king. You shall always be our king. So the thing is, it's the king's responsibility to take care of his subjects. If he doesn't take care of his subjects, it is definitely going to come and haunt him back. So I'm very sure that you are aware of this. And as people, as foresters who live in the forest our entire life, we have been terrorized by some Rakshasas in this jungle. So we want you to take care of them. We want you to get rid of that problem for us. We want you to protect us because we have nobody else to go to. We have no one else to address. So he said that absolutely, you don't have to ask me, you don't have to beg me. You can simply give me an order. This was Rama. Humbleness written all over him. He said that you are capable enough to give me an order, so you don't have to ask me. Your wish is my command. So it shall be done. He gave his word. And then they went on to meet sage Sutikshna. From there on, after meeting Sutikshna, even Sutikshna was waiting for Rama, and then he went to again his lokas. Now, Sita was listening to all these conversations. Now comes the most beautiful part. How should a husband and a wife must argue ideally? See, husband and wife are supposed to argue. It's not like, Rama and Sita never argued. No, it's not like that. They did argue. And you have seen the first domestic fight between Rama and Sita when Rama decided to tell her that you stay back, I'm going to forest. Okay. So there was that small incident that happened between them. Now comes the second one. They're having a very matured conversation between them. They're having an argument. An argument should not involve shouting. It should involve logic. Any argument without logic is called as a fight. It's called as a stupid fight. Okay. So arguments must always be logical. So look at Sita's logic here and look at the response that Rama gives. Sita begins her argument. She says that there are only three things that makes any person vulnerable. Three mistakes that no man should ever commit. What are those three mistakes that any man can commit and no man should ever commit? What are those three mistakes? The first one is mithya vakyam. Lying, telling a lie is a vicious thing. No man should ever lie. So all of us should be hanged because we all lie. No man should ever lie, the first thing. And then the second one is paradarabhigamanam. It means to desire of a woman who is not his, which means a forbidden woman. You are not supposed to like or want or desire someone else's wife. So that is called as paradarabhigamanam, or forcing yourself on someone else's wife. That is called as paradarabhigamanam. Now, this is the second one. And the third one is very interesting. Enmity without reason is the third mistake that no man should ever commit. Picking up a fight without any reason. Now she starts explaining. The first one, it's impossible. Rama and mithya bhishamsanam, that is telling a lie, Rama and lie, they don't go together. They are the opposite. So you have never lied. You can never lie. So the first problem is not in you. The second one too is impossible to be in you because paradarabhigam, Rama doesn't even look other women. He doesn't even look with his eyes. So how can you think of him forcing himself on other women? So it is also ruled out. But this third one, I think that has fallen upon you. What has happened to you? Why have you picked up a fight with the Rakshasas? Why have you picked up a rivalry, an enmity with these Rakshasas, even though they have not done anything to you? Have they harmed you? Have they done anything to you? Why have you picked a fight with them? This was Sita's logic. See, I have heard a story back in my childhood. The story is that there was a Brahmana once upon a time, and Indra wanted to examine him, to do a pariksha on him. So what Indra did was he gave him a sword. He said that you must take care of this sword. So if somebody gives you something, it becomes your responsibility to take care of it. So what this sage did was, what this Brahmana did was, he used to carry around that sword everywhere that he went, because he did not want to lose the sight of it. What if I keep it in my ashram and I move somewhere, I go somewhere to fetch water or to get some fruits and somebody steals it? So then I would be, I would be at mistake, I would be wrong because I lost it. So he used to carry a sword along with him. Because he always used to carry a sword with him, it changed his mindset. That sage's mindset was completely changed. He became a different man. What do you mean he became a different man? He wanted to kill someone, because that's what a weapon does to you. If you keep on carrying weapon with you, if you carry a weapon with you for a long time, you become very anxious. You become cruel. Cruelty creeps in if you keep carrying a weapon. Now, just imagine, why do army men, why do soldiers always carry a weapon? Because they need to be ready at all the time. They need to be prepared at all the time. You cannot ask a soldier to pick a gun or pick a sword and go and fight the battles if he doesn't acquaint himself, acclimatize himself with the weapon every single day of his life. That's why it's vital for a warrior to carry a weapon, whereas it is not that vital for a sage. He need not carry a weapon, because if he carries a weapon, his mind will start thinking elsewhere or thinking differently. That is not required. See what kind of an impact a thing that we carry can have on our mind. It's pure psychology, that's all. It's clear as daylight. If we keep carrying something very precious, so then our entire life would be moving towards that path. So that's what Sita said. So see, this is not the place to carry a weapon, isn't it? We are in the forest. So you don't carry a weapon in the forest. You don't require these huge weapons with you. But since you have picked a fight now with the people whom you don't know, you don't have any reason to pick a fight with them. There are three famous reasons to pick a fight. Either you should have a common woman to fight for, either you should have a common land, or you should have some wealth, some money issues. You don't have any of these three reasons to pick a fight with them, and yet you have picked a fight with them. And this is absolutely wrong, according to me. And then she said the most beautiful line, where she says that Snehacha bahumanacha smaraye natu shikshaye. See, because of the love that I have towards you, and since I know that you are mine, I am saying this out of my love and concern. And I'm only reminding you, I am not giving you a lecture. I am not lecturing you. See, this is how you put forth an argument when you are arguing with your spouse, when you are arguing with your better half. Whether it is a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. This is how you put forth an argument with your better half. How beautifully did Sita put forth her argument when she said that I am only reminding you. You know all these things. I'm simply reminding you. It's a gentle reminder to you. I'm not lecturing you. I'm not teaching you. Who am I to teach you? You know everything. It's being polite. It's called as being polite, not being submissive. I mean, how ridiculous have we become that we, every time we hear these kind of conversations, it takes our mind towards the postmodernism or the kind of things that we are used to these days, feminism, that all the isms that have creeped in our mind. It really hurts us even to appreciate such a beautiful conversation that is happening. And now you have to wait and see for Rama's response. He said that you have articulated your argument beautifully. This clearly shows that you are very well brought up. It does, isn't it? What kind of an education that Sita had. See, these days people shout. People, they claim that everything should be made available to everybody. But at what cost? Is that man or woman responsible enough to take care of this subject? Because every time you pass on the knowledge to someone else, you don't simply pass on the knowledge, you pass on that knowledge with the immense responsibility that knowledge brings in. For example, if you're passing on the nuances, the subtleties, the confidential report of a country's nuclear energy resources, do you think they would simply hand it over? Or do you think there would be some orientation for them? They definitely have some orientation, isn't it? Or you just imagine hand holding. That's what the corporate term is, I believe. I don't know the exact jargon of the corporate world, but they do perform these kind of things where they introduce you to the new workplace. Why? Because they care about their companies, isn't it? They care about their company's culture. And when somebody steps into their company and wants to be a part of the company, in the beginning, very initially, they want to introduce them to their company's structure, their company's culture, etc., etc. And that is fine with all of us. Nobody shouts about discrimination at that point. Why only us? Why not a 3-year-old senior? Why not a 5-year-old senior? Everything should be equal to everybody, isn't it? So why doesn't a vice president get the same orientation as you do when you join a new company? Does anyone dare ask this question in their company? No, they don't. Because that's where hypocrisy steps in. But when it comes to Indian knowledge systems, yes, here we can claim. Because apne baap ka to kuch ja nahi raha hai. It's not anybody's wealth. So we can ask questions here. Why only them? Why are you teaching this to only them? Dronacharya was doing this. He was teaching only the royals because he was bound. He was a contracted lecturer. He was a contracted professor at that time. He was not supposed to break his contract. Now, he never denied once in his life that he shall not teach Ekalavya. He said that I cannot, I am unable to teach you right now. If a professor denies you, if somebody tells you that you cannot get access to this information currently at this moment, what would you do? You would go back and you would come back in a stipulated time that they have given, isn't it? That's how usually we do. You try to access some information, top secret government information, and the website responds saying that you are not eligible, or you are not capable, or you are not eligible to access this information. So what you do is you try to gain that eligibility, isn't it? Or you wait till you become eligible for that. But no, I want to do it quickly. So what I do is I hack into that website. I hack into a government confidential report, and I start accessing the confidential reports. I start accessing those files. Isn't hacking immoral? And what would you do to those people who gain information in a wrongful way? Don't you punish them? That is right. If you put it in this form, yes, it's absolutely right. Yes, it is because they have access to vulnerable information, and you punish them and nobody questions, nobody lifts a finger. But when Dronacharya does it to Ekalavya, then all kind of politics creeps in, because they are not seeing Dronacharya as a teacher. They are seeing Dronacharya as a symbol of some community. And they're not seeing Ekalavya as a student who was wronged, a student with bad intentions, with wrong intentions. Maybe he had the right goal in his heart, but his methods were wrong. And this is where responsibility comes in. It's not just about passing on the information. If it was only about passing on the information, then they would have done it so easily. But it's about passing on the information with responsibility. So that shows the kind of education that Sita had. This is what Rama meant when he said that this clearly shows that you have been well brought up. Because she had this, she not only had this vision, but she had the proper way, the polite way of articulating it. If you point finger at someone and say that you are doing a wrong thing, anybody would be enraged. But Sita did not do that. She did it in a very polite way. She articulated it in a beautiful way. And there is a learning for all of us, how to articulate better. See, narration is everything. Narrative is everything. I agree. We have to put forth our feelings or our thoughts, not feelings, sorry. We have to put forth our thoughts. But how do you articulate? How do you put forth it? You need to be responsible in that. And exactly how Sita was responsible when she articulated Rama's response, a beautiful response. Only Rama could have responded like this. He says that when they asked me, when the sages sought my help, I gave them my word. I told them that I will help them. And if I have given my word to someone, I must perform it, isn't it? That's the first and foremost dharma of a Kshatriya. To stay true to your words. And that's what Ikshvaku Vamsha is known for. That's what the kings of Ikshvaku clan are known for. And even if they don't ask, I am supposed to Anuktenapi Vaidehi Pratignyaya Kathamna. I am supposed to take care of my word. I'm not supposed to break my words. And then he makes that iconic statement, which is kind of a mirror to what is going to happen in future. He says that Apyaham Jivitam Jahyam. I can sacrifice my own life. Tvam vasite salakshmanam. I can sacrifice you. I can sacrifice Lakshmana as well. Remember, Rama calls Lakshmana as Bahishcharaf Pranaha, his walking life. Rama called Lakshmana as his walking life. So Rama was ready to give up his own life, his walking life, and his Ardhangini, Sita, for the sake of what? Natu pratignyam samshrutya, for the sake of keeping one's word. If you have given your word, then you should do it at any cost. Even if that cost meant that you have to give your life, you give your life and you stick to your word. Never forget this line. Apyaham jivitam jahyam tvam vasite salakshmanam natu pratignyam samshrutya brahmanebhyo visheshata. Especially when you have given your word to brahmanas, especially when you have given your words to sages, you cannot take back your word. Remember, his father, Daśaratha, tried to take back his word when Viśvāmitra asked him. At first, when Viśvāmitra asked, before Viśvāmitra could ask, Daśaratha himself said that I shall do whatever you ask me for. And then when he asked to send Rama, he said, no, I cannot send Rama. That's not Rama for you. And that's not the nature of Rama. And if Rama has given his word, then he shall do it at any cost. Now, is there any counter for this kind of an argument? Anybody should nod their head and approve and agree to Rama's words. This is how their second domestic argument ended up. A beautiful way. Nobody got hurt. Nobody's sentiments were hurt. Nobody's families got involved. Nobody abused anybody. Nobody applied for harassment cases. Nothing. It's a casual, normal argument between two people, between a husband and a wife. That's a lesson for us. It's not just about arguing with a husband or a wife. It's about arguing with anybody. The way you articulate it is the most important thing. Moving on. Then they started their journey again. They came to a place called as Panchapsara. The name of that place was Panchapsara. The unique thing about that Panchapsara place was that there were 5 small lakes in that place. And every time they went near a lake, they used to listen to beautiful music being played from that place, from that lake. So they were very much curious to know. Rama and Lakshmana, they were curious to know. So they asked the sages, what is this? So they said that these 5 lakes were built by Mandakarani, a sage named Mandakarani, who was doing tapas long ago, and Indra wanted to examine him. So he sent 5 apsaras to him, and they all started living happily ever after with him. So this is the sound coming from their day-to-day activities. That's why we hear these sounds in these lakes. So that's the story, a small story of Mandakarani and the Panchapsara. And some trivial things, that's all. Because if I don't tell you trivia, then you would think that I have not narrated Ramayana correctly to you. So all these trivia are also important, although it doesn't have any value in my eyes, but still it's my job and I have to deliver it. Likewise, like this they used to travel from place to place. They used to stay in one place for around 8 months, 10 months, 12 months, like this. They used to stay in a place, rent agreement for 10 months, 12 months, just like that. They used to have this kind of an agreement, and they kept on moving from place to place. Likewise, they spent around 10 to 12 years. Look at the span of time. 10 years they spent like this, 10 to 12 years they spent like this. And then finally, they arrived at Sutikshna's ashram. And then Rama asked this question. I have heard for a very long time that the great sage Agastya stays somewhere here, somewhere near this place. I've never come across him. I want to meet him. Now, Sutikshna, you remember Sutikshna, he had asked him to come back to his place. So Sutikshna, he told Rama that even I wanted to tell you that to go and meet Agastya once. You have come so far, so far down to the southern part of this country. And if you don't visit the man who made the South habitual, if we are living in the southern part of India today, we must owe gratitude every single minute of our life to that great sage Agastya, because he is the man who made the South, the southern part of this country habitual, because it was infected by Rakshasas. It was filled with demons. He is the man, he is the only one who could enter. He is the one who made this Dakshinadik a place to live. And now this is the most prosperous place in India, without a doubt. Okay. Yeah. Now, there is a legend, there is a story about Agastya, and I will just narrate this story of Agastya, and then we can move on to some questionnaires, and then to the next half of the session. Once upon a time, there used to be two brothers, Vatapi and Ilvala and Vatapi, the famous duo of brothers. They had devised a new plan. They had devised a unique plan of killing rishis. This Ilvala, he used to be a cook. So he used to cook his own brother. He used to marinate him and feed him to the sages. As soon as the sages thought that this is meat, it has been offered to me. In those time, sages used to eat meat. So that's very unimportant thing. That's not the area to focus on currently. So he used to serve them, and the moment they eat the meat offered to them, right after that, Ilvala used to call upon his brother, come out, and he would simply open up the stomachs of the rishis, and they used to kill for fun. So when the gods knew their evil plan, they planted a man whom anybody cannot touch, nobody could touch. They planted Agastya there. They sent Agastya. They asked Agastya, can you take care of this problem? He said, don't worry, I will take care of it. So they did the same thing. They used the same devil trick with Agastya. And he had taken Aposhanam. At the end of his food, he had taken Aposhanam. Finally, this fellow is calling out for his brother, come on, come on. And Agastya, with a smile on his face, where will he come? He has already reached his, his place where he had to go. He has already reached that place. He is not going to come back. And that's Agastya for you, a great sage, an absolutely legend. And finally, Rama gets to meet Agastya. An interaction that might not be worth the screen time in sense of the epic, but the most important part of Rama's journey. This is Agastya appears in Ramayana only twice. This is the first place where Agastya appears. And do you know where else does Agastya come in? During the war, during the Great War, when Rama had lost all hope. Yeah. He thought that this is the end. I cannot fight Ravana anymore. He had given up. Tato yuddha parishrantam samare chintaya sthitam Ravanam jagrato drishtva yuddhaya samupasthitam. And that's when Agastya steps in. That's when Agastya gave the Upadesham of Aditya Hridayam, the great Aditya Hridayam gifted to this world by sage Agastya. So he has contributed a great deal to Rama's character, and we will see the first encounter between Rama and Agastya. Okay. If you have any questions regarding this session, we can quickly take a couple of questions and we will move on, because we are supposed to introduce the antagonist of the story today. So it's going to be a huge thing. Ravana is going to be introduced in the second half. So, all right. If you have any questions, we will quickly take the questions and move on. I think it was a pretty straight, simple story. So I hope there are no questions. And if you have any questions, you can reserve them. We can take the questions in the end. Oh, yes, there is a question. Yes, go on, please.
I have a question.
Yeah.
ಅನಸೂಯ ಸೀತೆನ ಅಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಕೇಳಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ವಾ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಕೆ ಸೀತೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ಬೆಳೆದಿದ್ದು ಅದೆಲ್ಲದನ್ನು ಸೀತೆ ನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಳೆ ಅನಸೂಯ ಮುಂದೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರಣ ಏನಿತ್ತು? ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅನಸೂಯನೇ ಒಬ್ರು ಮಹಾ ತಪಸ್ವಿನಿ, ಯೋಗಿ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದಂತ ವಿಷಯಗಳು ಯಾವ್ದು ಅಲ್ಲ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಾಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್? ಏನಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಸೀತೆ ಬಾಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿಸಿದ್ರು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ.
To strike a conversation. To know something about a person from their own mouth, it kinds of builds a long-lasting bond. See, if you want to be with someone, you would ask about them, right? You would want to know about that person. So Anasuya was very keen on knowing about Sita, even though she knew everything. Now, here comes the most important part. See, there were some great sages, some great people in our country who were Trikalajnaninaha and Trikaladarshis. They knew everything. What is the exact meaning of the term they knew everything? It doesn't mean that they were like a Google which has all the information stored in them at any time. They did, but the beauty about their knowledge was, when we say they are Trikalajnani, they know everything, we mean that they can access any information at any given point of time if they want. But they don't use that kind of thing because they are not interested in facts. This is the point I try my level best to highlight in every talk that I give, in every lecture that I deliver. They say that Vedas are a source of abundant knowledge. They are. We have physics, chemistry, botany, mathematics, everything hidden in Vedas. But that is not the ultimate purpose of Veda. Never forget that. If they wanted to be physicists, did our sages did they want to be physicists? No, they did not.
Yeah.
That's not the end of information. That's not the end of the world. So in the same way, even though Anasuya knew everything, she never bothered to know about someone else. Why would she? She has her own job to do.
Okay, thank you.
There's one day storyteller and a 12-year storyteller. No. It's like, the entire thing has been narrated in such a way that the story, the Ayodhya Kandam story, is a one-day story, and this is a 12-year story. We cannot differentiate like this. There are some, it's an interesting question, and if you are interested in this kind of how to narrate a story, Natya Shastra actually gives some beautiful insights in the art of narrating a story. They say that you cannot narrate the story that spans for more than a year. If it is spanning for more than a year, then you have to cut it short. You have to make it brief. So they introduce some new things, some innovative things in a play. So those rules apply to epics as well, to kavyas as well. So Valmiki is a master of it. All these rules and regulations about plays and other forms of literature were written looking at Valmiki's Ramayana. It's not the other way around. So this is the way to narrate a story. That's all. So it's not anything particular. It's general. It's common sense. That's all. He has just focused on the part which is vital for his narration. That's all. Okay. Is there any more questions? Yeah, please go.
So you said that if you keep carrying a weapon, like if a sage carries a weapon, then the cruelty creeps in. So does it apply to anything else? Say you don't know to play an instrument, but you're constantly carrying it. Like, will you end up learning it? Like, I'm just giving an example. Is it like what you expose yourself to? That's what develops in
it
you.
does have an impact. I cannot give you a definitive answer to this question because it's subject to so many other things. And I think it would definitely have an impact. The things that we hold in our hands, the things that we carry with ourselves every day, they all have an impact. That much I can assure you of. But how long does it take to impact on us, or how deep the impact is, that is subjected to insights. And by insights, I mean, we need to have that Antaranga Darshan. We need to have some other ways of proving that. See, it is one thing to have Antaranga Darshanam. The second thing is to substantiate it with enough evidences from the outer world. So these both are required. Both of these are required. Now, the unfortunate thing about today's world is they are solely focused on the evidence part in the outer world. And even when it comes to Indian knowledge systems, they are solely focusing on that part, which is ridiculous if you ask me. They are missing the point. It needs to be a balanced one. You need to have this Antaranga Darshanam, and then if you can substantiate it with some proof, some evidence in the outer world, then you are golden and you are the best. If you can only give proofs or evidences from the outer world, you are a good orator, you are a good researcher. That's all. So what? Tatah kim? As Adi Shankara puts the question, tatah kim, tatah kim, tatah kim, tatah kim. So it doesn't matter, because you have not hit the jackpot. You have not reached the point where you have experienced everything. These days, we call someone else's opinion, somebody else's insights, their experiences. We read their experiences, we quote their experiences, and then we call it as research. We are not researchers. We are simply, what do you call, collectors. That's all. We are simply collecting information collectors. That's all. That's ridiculous. A researcher needs to have, like Valmiki did. Prachinagreshu darbheshu dharmena anvekshate. He saw Ramayana with his own eyes, isn't it? He was initiated. Sure, literature review, very important. I agree. But that's not where the research ends, isn't it? After literature review, you need to close your eyes, look within yourself, find everything out, and then come back and substantiate it and articulate it like Valmiki did. So the answer to your question is, I know it's a bit elongated answer, but the answer is, we cannot definitively say that this is how things are, but they do. Anything that we hold in our hands, anything that we carry, does actually have an impact on us. How deep, how long, that I am not aware of. You may find someone else who is aware of it. I am not. Currently, I'm not.
Yeah. No, so I'm saying even like things like, say, you're carrying some experiences from your past also constantly.
Yeah.
That also can have an effect on.
Absolutely. This is the reason why they said that, you should let it go.
Yeah.
And because the baggage, as long as you carry the baggage, you will be pulled down. It's a climb. If you are climbing a mountain, trekking, imagine too much of weightage if we carry while trekking, it becomes unbearable to walk. So we are climbing in our inner world, and for that, that's where karma sannyasa comes in. That's where I urge people that you should study Adi Shankaracharya's commentary on Bhagavad Gita. The reason is, it's not about supporting or voicing Advaita or anything like that. You will get an idea. He is the person who said that jnana, he has identified few important things about Bhagavad Gita which no one else has, no other commentator has. The first thing is about jnana. Jnana devatu kaivalyam. That's his statement. Only jnana, only knowledge of oneself can liberate us. Point number one. Point number two, karma sannyasa. What do we mean by karma sannyasa? Is karma phala sannyasa. It means let go of the fruits of the actions, letting go of that. Sannyasa is, giving up the ownership of the fruits of our action. So that's the key. Because if we hold on to it, it's going to be very difficult. It's taken away by being such a strong person. Why didn't she fight it? Yes. Radhani ji has asked me a question where she's asking me, how did Viradha take away Sita just like that? She was helpless and he was huge. And they had no idea that Viradha was going to come in front of them. So they were clueless. And all of a sudden he came and he took her by force. So sometimes, because they had never encountered such a huge person before. So she did not, and she did fight back. But when she did, it was not under her control. That's why, the first and foremost job that Rama and Lakshmana did was to make sure that Sita is away from the clutches of Viradha, and then they killed him. I think I've answered the question. All right. So if you have any more questions, we can take them at the end of the session. So we will move ahead. Now, Agastya and Rama, they met, and they had a beautiful conversation. And that conversation needs to be savored. It needs to be studied again and again. Even though it's a very small conversation, it needs to be studied. So at the end, he says that he actually did that Atithi Satkaram and all. Rama was a bit shy. You are such a legend, how you are making me sit before you. I mean, he had not sat down. Agastya had not sat down, but he asked Rama, Lakshmana and Sita to sit down first. So he was a bit hesitant, Rama. So that's when Agastya says that if you do not take care of your guests, and this applies to everybody, if you do not take care of your guests, then it's a huge crime. It's a sin to not take care of your guests. So you should always take care of them. So this is the way a forester takes care of his guests. So please be seated. And then he offered them food and etc., etc. And after that, he said that I have a Vaishnava Dhanus with me. See, the most important part I was talking about. Agastya bestowing upon Rama Vaishnava Dhanus, and he also gave him some arsenal, the arsenal that never goes empty. So he gifted that to Rama. He said that Aage kaam aayega. That's exactly what Agastya said. You need them, because he is a visionary. Agastya was a visionary. He said that you will need this in future. In the immediate future, you are going to need this. So keep this with you. And then they asked to suggest a place. So Agastya suggested them the place that we famously known as Panchavati. Panchavati. That's the place suggested by Agastya to Rama, Lakshmana and Sita. So they went there and they saw the place right on the banks of river Godavari. Beautiful place. And Rama asked yet again the one man, an all-rounder, Lakshmana, to build a beautiful place for them, and he did. And this time, last time he did not receive any gift, but this time Rama was so much impressed with Lakshmana's skills, civil engineering skills, that he says that I'm going to give you my hug. Okay, so he hugged only two people, Rama. Basically, he hugged only two people. The first one to get his hug was Lakshmana. And the second one and the last one to get a hug from Rama as an appreciation is Hanuman. Nobody else got it. So you can imagine the value that Rama puts on when he does something so creative and something so beautiful to someone else. It's beautiful. Okay. Now, when they were about to reach this place, this Dandakaranyam, when they were about to reach Panchavati, they came across a bird that all thought was in the form of a demon. They all thought this is a Rakshasa. Now, who knows, Rakshasas can take any form, anytime. So they all thought that this is a Rakshasa. They were readying their swords and bows and arrows. And then that bird began to speak. And that bird is none other than Jatayu. The first time they encounter Jatayu, they interact with Jatayu. So Jatayu said that, please don't kill me. I am your father's friend. And then he narrated his life history. I mean, his entire clan. Who is he? Who is his brother? From whom is he born? Etc. etc. So Vinata had two sons, Garuda and Aruna. So if you did not know that Garuda and Aruna are two brothers, so here you go. Garuda is the vehicle of Lord Vishnu, and Aruna is the charioteer, the chauffeur of Lord's sun. He is the one. That's why we call it as Arunodayam. First happens Arunodayam, and then comes Suryodayam. So Surya does not appear himself. First the charioteer comes in, right? The first appearance is of the charioteer, then comes the person sitting on the chariot. So Garuda and Aruna are two brothers. They were born to Vinata. That's why Garuda is called as Vainateya. So Aruna had two sons. His eldest son was called as Sampati. The youngest one is called as Jatayu. So basically, Sampati and Jatayu are two brothers, bird brothers. We can just call them like that. We hear the story of Jatayu, very interesting story. We get to see Jatayu in three phases. The first one is the introductory part. The second one is his valiant sacrifice that he does. What a beautiful character Jatayu is. I mean, an old bird was ready to sacrifice itself for the sake of Rama. So that's the kind of emotion that Valmiki brings in. And then at the end, the third phase of Jatayu, when we get to know the history of Jatayu, who Jatayu was from his own brother, when Sampati speaks. So these are the three phases. This is the first phase. So I'm going to keep it unveiled, because I'm not going to unveil it right now. I'm going to keep it covered, just like our great poet has done. So this is simply an introduction to Jatayu. And then they went there. They started living there. It was Hemanta Rutu. It was Hemanta, the season of Hemanta. And one fine day, a woman steps in. You know who this woman is? Shurpanakha. So the most important junction of Ramayana has arrived. This is where it takes a turn. This is the Itarsi of Indian Railways. I mean, what Itarsi is to Indian Railways when it connects South India to North India. This Shurpanakha, the character, the introduction of Shurpanakha, is exactly in that position in Ramayana. Here it takes a turn. A turn of events happen when Shurpanakha enters. She saw Rama, and who would not want Rama, especially if you are a woman? So she was attracted to Rama. So she changed her form. She was not looking like a Rakshasi. If you want to propose someone, you want to look good in front of them. So Shurpanakha did the same, because she wanted to propose Rama. So she went ahead, and Valmiki explains it in a beautiful way. He leaves no stones unturned. He's such a genius of a poet, and he leaves no stone unturned. And he says that he gives some contradiction on what kind of a woman Shurpanakha was and what kind of a man Rama was. He says that Sumukham Durmukhi Rama. Shurpanakhi was Durmukhi. She was the most ugliest woman in this world. And she wanted to propose the most handsome man in this world. See the contradiction? And then he says that Vrittamadhyam Mahodari. He was well built, six-pack. And she was Mahodari. She had fat belly. And then Vishalaksham. She had broad eyes. And Virupakshi. And her eyes were the most cruel ones. Virupakshi. And then Sukesham. He had such a beautiful hair, Rama. And she was Tamra Murdhaja. Colored hair. I'm sorry if anybody is interested in coloring their hair. I'm very sorry. Tamra is copper, copper like hair, red hair. Something people these days, they do some experiments and all. That's Shurpanakha. Basically, Shurpanakha. Okay, all right. Then moving on. Priyarupam Virupasa. He was Priyarupa. Everybody wanted to look at him, and she was Virupa. And then Suswaram. Rama had a beautiful tone, and she was Bhairavasvana. If she started speaking, the room would be clear. So that's the kind of voice she had. And then Tarunam, he was young, she was old. Daruna, Vriddha. And then Dakshinam Vamabhashini, he was a true gentleman, and she was a crooked lady. This is how Valmiki describes the interaction between Rama and Shurpanakha. So Shurpanakha enters the ashrama, and she asks Rama, Why are you here? This is a place filled with Rakshasas. Are you not afraid of him? And why are you living with these two people here in such a dangerous place? This is not a place. This is not the right place for you. Who are you? Where have you come from? Why are you here? So all the details. Now Rama knew that she was a Rakshasi. If you have seen otherwise in any other serials or any other stories, you have to keep them aside, because this is the original story that I'm narrating right from the book, right? So he says that Valmiki uses the word Rujubuddhitaya. Rama knew exactly who she is, because Rakshasi Pratibhasime. He says that to her face. I know that you are a Rakshasi, but why are you here? Why have you come to us? He asks her again. But before that, because she is a woman and she has asked you a question, it's impolite not to respond when somebody asks you a question. This is Rama for you, an epitome of etiquette. Okay, only if IIMs taught Rama for how to behave, etiquette and all those things. If they had made Rama as role model, then things would have changed. Anyway, we are not here to comment on all those things. So Rujubuddhitaya, so with the straight head and without having any second thoughts whether I should answer her or not, he answered her. He narrated the entire story to her very briefly. And then he asks, I want to know about you. Why are you here? Why have you come to us? I'm sure you are a Rakshasi, but why are you here? And as soon as Shurpanakha heard this, she knew that she could not reveal herself properly. She could not cover herself properly. So she revealed herself in her actual form. And she said that my name is Shurpanakha. I am the sister of the famous brother, if you have heard his name, Daśaratha, a man with 10 faces, Ravana. I am Ravana's sister. I hope you have heard his name. He's a very famous guy. And I wander around these parts of the jungle. I'm sort of the queen of this jungle, bandit queen of the jungle, okay, of this jungle. And I have three brothers. My elder brother is called by the name Ravana. And the second one is Kumbhakarna. And I have a third brother named as Vibhishana. Vibhishana is unlike us. He's a very soft fellow. And she gave this introduction about herself. And then she proposed directly to Rama. I like you very much. Why are you with this young fellow who looks like, a very ugly person who has not had anything to eat in so many days? She looks very pale, thin, weak. She was talking about Sita. Why are you with this woman? Leave her. You deserve to be with a woman like me. So come with me. Let us roam this forest. Let us be like king and queen. What a proposal. And if you are going to propose someone, you should at least look at yourself first and then gauge yourself, think, and then you should propose. But no, Shurpanakha was Shurpanakha. So Rama understood her intentions. But again, Rujubuddhitaya, he did not want to hurt her feelings. So, but he wanted to have some fun. Hasyam Shurpanakha Mukhe. That's what the great poet wrote. How Rama has all these Navarasas. So where is this Hasya Rasa? In Shurpanakha Mukhe. During this prasanga, during this episode of Shurpanakha, we find Rama's inclination towards Hasya Rasa. So Rama told him that, see, I am already married. She is my wife. Ugly or beautiful, she is going to remain my wife. And I have taken a vow that I shall not take another wife. But here is my brother. He is not married. And by what he meant, when Rama said that Lakshmana is not married, what he meant was he has not taken such a vow that he will take only one wife. He is the son of Daśaratha, true son of Daśaratha. So he can take many wives, as many wives as he wants. It's only my decision, it's only my vow that I shall not take a second wife. So Lakshmana can take. So why don't you approach him? Just like this, Shurpanakha decided that, okay, fine, let me marry Lakshmana. Now you tell me, what kind of a woman does this? She who does not have a clear conscience, she who does not have a clear-cut idea about what she exactly wants. Did she actually want Rama, or what was she actually wanting? She had no confirmation. She had no decisiveness in her own thoughts. So all of a sudden she went to Lakshmana. She said, come, let's get married. Lakshmana said, you are so beautiful. Huh? Is this Lakshmana speaking? Just keep on listening. You are so beautiful. You deserve someone better than me. Why? Because I am his servant. Do you want to be the queen of this jungle, or do you want to be the wife of a servant? See, if you marry me, you will remain the wife of a servant. But if you marry my brother, you can be the queen of this jungle. What would you prefer? Think. And I think my brother would leave this ugly looking human. He was referring to Sita. This is all joke, remember? This is all joke. He would definitely leave her behind for you because you are so beautiful. You should definitely ask my brother once again. Now, her mind flipped. Shurpanakha's mind flipped. This is why you don't do jokes with wrong people. You don't do jokes with evil people. But you can crack jokes on the indigenous people of this great land because we are tolerant. And if you crack jokes on intolerant people, you know what happens. All right. This is an example for that. Shurpanakha was intolerant. She was acting intolerant because she was not tolerant enough to listen to all these things. That's what I meant. You know, if you have understood anything else from these lines, it's up to you. I did not say those things. All right. Then what Shurpanakha did was unthinkable. Next, she jumped on Sita. She wanted to grab Sita, kill her, and marry either one of them or both of them, because that was her intention. She said that it's all happening because of this woman, right? Because she is here, you are rejecting me. So I'm going to kill her. I'm going to eat her, not even kill. I'm going to eat her. And then you will be free because you have no other choice left apart from me. So you have to choose me. So Rama was scared. He said this beautiful line. See, Lakshmana, this is why I think people, wise men say that kruraihi, those who are very cruel in nature, anaryehi, those who have no culture, uncultured, and you should never do any parihasa with them. You should never joke with them. You should never have some light moments with them. Why? Because see, she directly attacked Sita. Now Lakshmana had all his fun. He is not a funny guy. You know, Lakshmana is a very serious fellow. He took out his knife without asking, without thinking twice. He cut her nose and ears. That's all. That was the end of Shurpanakha's and that arrogance that she had towards Sita. She ran away from there. She ran to her cousins, 3 cousins, Khara, Dushana, and Trishiras. She went to them. She started pleading to them. They were all surprised to see, who did this to you? It was an untouched territory of Ravana. Nobody dare enter that territory because it was under the strict protection of Khara, Dushana, and Trishiras. And somebody has did this. Somebody did this to Ravana's sister, the Ravana's sister. Who wants to wake up a sleeping giant? Who wants to die today? So he actually said that who has told at his home when coming to this forest today that he won't be returning back. The kind of phrase that we usually use in Kannada, manene hel bandidya. So that's the kind of phrase actually Khara uses in front of Shurpanakha. Now Shurpanakha describes Rama. There is a person. He is so and so. He looks like this. And Khara immediately sends 14 of his strong warriors, toughest warriors, those who can get the job done. He said that, see, take her with you, take her with you and find out where this fellow is, kill him. You don't have to imprison him and bring him in front of me for justice because they don't believe in justice. Okay, only we people believe in justice. They believe in cutting the head of people. So Khara gave them a direct order that kill him. So they went. Shurpanakha showed the place. This is where Rama is, and she hid behind a tree to see what is happening. And Rama said that Rama asked Lakshmana that, you stay with Sita, okay? You take care of Sita. Now, I want you to open a tab in your head and never forget and never close the tab until I tell you so. Lakshmana is a very angry man. He has been keeping that anger to himself. He had not had the right opportunity to put out that anger that he has been storing in himself. It started right from the moment when Rama was denied the throne, when Rama was asked to go to the forest. He has been holding on to that anger for a very long time. He wants to burst out of it, but he cannot. He wanted to burst against Bharata. Rama declined him. Rama denied him. No, you should not do it. Now, when Khara, Dushana, and Trishiras, when they come with 14,000 men, and when their army of 14,000 men attacked, what did Rama do? Rama asked Lakshmana to protect Sita. I will face them. You don't have to worry. So you just have to keep an eye on how Lakshmana held on to his anger. He was meant for only one thing. He was meant for only one battle for his life. I think every warrior gets only one battle in his entire life. So Lakshmana's battle was to defeat the invincible Indrajit. And for that, you have to hold on for a very long time. If a cloud doesn't rain for a very long time, be very aware that it's going to rain cats and dogs when it starts. So that is Lakshmana for you. Keep an eye on his anger. He has been kept under check by Rama because he needs him in the great battle, in the great war. All right. So these 14 men were sent and they were cut down to pieces by Rama. It was just, all it took him was one shot of an arrow. He shot 14 arrows at a time, and all 14 of them were killed. Finished. Shurpanakha went back and she started narrating the entire thing to Khara again. She was abusing him. Do you have no concern towards me? You are my brother. Rakhi bandhni hu main. All these things, emotional things. Khara was actually hurt. He said that these were 14 of my strongest men and he cut them down to pieces. Now this is not right. I think we must go in full strength. Very immature decision. If someone is that superior and if someone is capable of cutting down your 14 men in a minute with one shot, you will be very much aware of that person. You would not want to take a fight against him. But Khara was a fool. He took 14,000 of his men and he went out of his place to go against Rama. The moment Khara stepped out, Valmiki lists a beautiful description. He makes a beautiful description of all the bad omens that appeared in front of him. He's a master in this art, Valmiki is. I want to go into details, but I don't have that much of liberty of time, so I'm going to skip that part. But if you're interested, you should definitely refer to chapter number 23 from Aranyakandam. Beautiful description. Even in the straight path, see, you see this Rajamargam, Rajpath in Delhi, or maybe where the procession happens in Mysore, all these roads, they are very clean, spick and beautiful. Okay, there are no road humps or anything. It was such a road when they stepped out of their city. The horses began to fall all of a sudden. See, this is a bad omen. If you start falling, when you are starting to travel to somewhere, and if somebody starts to fall, it is considered as a bad omen. Just like this, you can find plenty of these things. I'm not going to elaborate on this because it's going to take too much of time. Rama also noticed all these things. And he said that danger is imminent. But at the same time, I have studied my own self. Spuramano muhurmuhu, ayamakhyati me bahuhu spuramano muhurmuhu. But my right shoulder, it's actually withering. So it denotes that I'm going to be victorious. Lakshmana, I urge you to take Sita to a cave and protect her. Do not come out until I tell you so. Lakshmana wanted to fight those men. This was the right time, right opportunity for Lakshmana to shine. But Rama did not put Lakshmana at risk. He said that, Pumhishurascha balavan, hanya etan nusamshayah. I know your strength, brother. I know you can kill them. I'm very sure of it. But you have to protect Sita. So go back, keep her safe in a cave, and I shall face them. And then what happened is probably undescribable by words. By any stretch of imagination, you must arrive at that conclusion that one man single-handedly fought 14,000 trained men. And nobody talks about the valiant Rama. This kind of Rama, this picture of Rama is never presented to us. When we hear the word Rama, we hear him as a weak hero who succumbed to the pressure of people and left his own wife. This is the picture that has been put, that has been stoned in our heads since a long time. We don't get to see Rama like this. Can you imagine Rama single-handedly fighting 14,000 men? And he cut them to pieces. He finished them. He killed all of them. Dushana was the first one to fall. And then Trishiras wanted to fight him. He was also finished. By the time Khara could muster courage and find all his strength and fight him, his entire army was gone. Not a single person was alive. There was only one person alive, and he was already starting to run away because he had to take a message to the boss, to Ravana. Khara was left, and the conversation that happened between Rama and Khara, one of the most bloodiest conversations that you will ever hear on a battlefield. Rama says that today is the day you are going to face the fruits of all your actions that you have done before. You have killed so many innocent men. You have killed so many people for no reason. You are going to pay the price for that. Today, you are going to get what you deserve. And then he said that nobody can stand and protect you in front of me today. Valmiki makes a beautiful description of Rama. He says that Krodhamaharayati Vram. He calls Rama as Ranapandita, master at war. Rama was a master at war, Ranapandita. And he said that when he was on that battlefield, do you remember the questions, the 16 questions, the 16 attributes that Valmiki had questioned and asked Narada? And he said that Kasya bibhyati devascha jataroshasya sanyuge. Whom does even the gods fear when he becomes angry? This was one of the attributes mentioned by Valmiki in the beginning of Ramayana. And you get an instance of Rama being angry. He said that Krodha Maharayativram. He brought the anger onto him. He imposed that anger on him. And he became unlookable, unviewable to people. Nobody could look Rama in his eyes, into his eyes when he was angry. That's the kind of our hero. We need to find that kind of courage. We need to understand that our hero is like this, and not a weak one, not a person who succumbed to the pressure of people. No, remove that picture if you have in your head about Rama. This is the picture of Rama, an epitome of dharma. And when he wanted krodha, when he wanted anger, he was not the slave of anger. He was the master of anger. That's why he could summon the anger whenever he wanted. He was on the battlefield. He needed to get angry. He summoned, he called upon anger, and angry he became. And then the rest is history. It took less than 45 minutes for Rama to finish off 14,000 men, Khara, Dushana, and Trishiras. All of them buried to the ground. Nobody was left. Shurpanakha had lost all her wits. She had never seen a man like this. She had never thought that there exists a man who can kill 14,000 men in 45 minutes, in less than 45 minutes. Not even a muhurta. A muhurta is 45 minutes. Not even a muhurta. Now, there was one man named as Akampana. Okay. And he accompanied Khara, Dushana, and Trishiras to this slaughter. But he survived somehow. And then he ran away. He was the messenger. He took the message. He approached the bench, the boss, the Don, Ravana. He just gave him the information that Khara, Dushana, and Trishiras and his 14,000 army were all killed within an hour. And your territory has been breached. Your stronghold on Dandakaranya is lost. The sages can roam around Dandakaranya freely now. Your control over Dandakaranya is gone. Okay, the fall of a part of your empire. Now, he was scared. Who? Akampana was scared to narrate all these things to Ravana. So he begged mercy in the beginning. If you assure me that you are not going to kill me, then I will tell you who that man is, who did this. And then he gave a beautiful description of Rama. You should read that description of Rama, what Rama was. He said that the 14,000 men who were slaughtered, they looked everywhere. Wherever they looked, they saw Rama in front of them. You see, that's how you install fear. It's not artificial intelligence. If somebody says that artificial intelligence was used back in those days, they made these kind of things, you shoot that person, because that's not the idea here. It's a metaphor. Okay, it's a poet's word. So he's saying that they were scared of Rama. There was only one Rama, but they saw so many Ramas in front of them. That was the valiance that was the courage, that was the strength that Rama had. And he said that, I don't think he is a god. I don't think he's a man. I don't know who he is. He is untouchable. I don't think he can be defeated in a battlefield. Now, Ravana had enough. He said, enough. I'm going to kill that fellow. He's one man, right? I am a man who has conquered all three worlds. Even the gods are scared to fight me. And do you think anybody can stop me? Nobody can stop me. I'm going to kill him. Now, he offered him some condolences and some counsel, Akampana. He said, my lord, there is a way to hurt Rama. You cannot kill or finish Rama on the battlefield. It's impossible to face him on the battlefield. But I have a better option for you. There is an idea, my lord. Okay, Ravana was interested. He said, Rama loves his wife. She is the most beautiful woman that I have ever seen in my life. So, I suggest you kidnap her. You take her by force. And once Sita is separated from Rama, Rama will fall like a house of cards. He is not a man. He cannot man up without his wife. He loves his wife that much. Remember this. Okay. When people tell you what a cruel man Rama was, he did not care about his wife, blah, blah, blah. Remember this. Even the opponents, even the cruelest of opponents knew by one sight, by just looking at Rama for once, they knew how much he loved his wife. Alas, we had that kind of a vision about this great personality called Rama. Alas, we had not judged Rama as a man who gave away his wife, who sent away his wife, who had no heart towards his wife, etc., etc. Because we don't have that vision. The Rakshasas had. So Rakshasas in some way were better than us because they knew what Rama was, where Rama's heart lay. Okay. So he gave this idea. And the idiot that Ravana is, he jumped to the conclusion he could not wait for more than a day. He started immediately the early morning. The next morning, he started immediately. He went up to Maricha, another one of his messengers, a retired fellow. Okay. Back in those days, he was one of the minions of Ravana. Okay. Now he is enjoying a retired life in the forests of Dandakaranya. He went right up to Maricha and asked, have you heard of this fellow? Somebody named Rama. He has come from some place, Ayodhya. He has left everything. And he was sent away to forest by his father, I heard. So He has killed 14,000 of my men. He has killed Khara, Dushana, and Trishiras. And also, the stronghold that I had over Dandakaranya is no more. I want to kidnap his wife. Are you going to help me? Maricha was surprised. Said, are you fine, my lord? Who gave you this advice? Is there anybody who wants to get you killed? Is there anybody who wants to replace you on the throne? Is everything fine in Lanka? Who gave you this advice? My lord, Rama cannot be even seen by you on the battlefield. You cannot even look him into his eyes when he stands with his weapons on the battlefield. So I suggest that you go back, because I urge peace. I seek peace. Okay. And I have experienced it. So I suggest you go back, enjoy your life in Lanka. Lanka is unreachable for anybody. Okay. Because you have a huge ocean between this territory and your place. So don't worry about Rama. Let Rama stay in forest. And why do you have to worry about a peasant or a small guy like Rama? Don't worry about him, my lord. Go back. This is not your place. I mean, you should not worry about Rama. You cannot face Rama. He said that in a polite way, in a very diplomatic way, and he was successful in sending Ravana away back to Lanka. Maricha. What a great fellow, isn't it? Hats off to his counsel. Hold on a moment. Shurpanakha finally managed to reach Lanka to meet his actual brother. She thought that this sort of small troubles, can be taken care by her cousins, Khara, Dushana, and Trishiras. They were of no use to her. So she went to Lanka to see Ravana. Again, Valmiki uses this incident to describe Ravana, how he looked. Vimshat Bhujam, 20 shoulders, and Dashagrivam, 10 heads. Just imagine how ridiculous that man must have looked. Yeah. We can't imagine. We can't imagine ourselves when we look in the mirror early morning, and we cannot face our own face early in the morning. Imagine people looking at Ravana with 10 faces. Horrible, isn't it? So this is how he looked. And Vishala Vakshasam. And there are many poets who have described his broad chest as something similar to a mountain. It was like a mountain ranges. That's how Ravana's chest looked. And there were some small wounds of the war. And those were the wounds given to Ravana by Airavata, Indra's vehicle. It had once did that, etc., etc. Description of Ravana. Overall, if you are interested in such kind of description, you have to read the original, because if I keep on describing Ravana, it would, how Ravana was. That's all. That's the end of it. Okay. So she started to speak. Now, Shurpanakha, as a sister, how did she speak to her elder brother? This is exactly lesson number 101. How not to speak to your brother. How not to manipulate your brother. How not to speak to your siblings. Lesson number 1. Taken directly from Ramayana, courtesy of Shurpanakha. He said that, are you blind, or have you lost your kinghood? Have you lost your mind? Do you know what is happening in your kingdom? Do you know what is happening to your subjects? 14,000 of your men were slaughtered. Where were you? What were you doing? Were you even aware of this fact? Or do you not have any spies or messengers anymore? Do you listen to them or not? Who are your counselors? What are they counseling you? How are you running this kingdom? Are you even fit to run this kingdom? So and so. She made a very arrogant argument in front of her brother. And I think you are soon going to lose your throne because you are unfit to be a king. She is saying this to the most cruel man alive in this world at that moment, Ravana. She survived after this. And it really hurt Ravana. What happened? Who did this to you? She narrated the story. Rama did this to me. Yes, I wanted to get rid of him, but Maricha advised me otherwise. And she did not want to listen to what Maricha advised, so and so. She was not at all interested. This is how women manipulate. Women like Shurpanakha manipulate. She started, Ravana asked, how is he? I asked Maricha. Maricha gave a very abstract idea of Rama. I want a particular idea of Rama. What are his weapons? What is his strong point? How does he fight? How does he look? What are his strengths? He's asking for his description. He's asking for Rama's CV, basically, Rama's resume. So she gave the resume that she had collected about Rama. And then she said that he has a wife named Sita, the most beautiful woman that I have ever seen. There is not a divine damsel in this world who matches the beauty of Sita. She deserves you and you deserve her. And exactly for this reason, I was about to bring her to you. Huh? Yeah, that's exactly what Shurpanakha told Ravana. I tried my level best, my dear brother, to bring her to you, to make her your wife. And that's when Rama's brother did this to me. Look at the manipulation here. Look how she manipulated the facts. Now Ravana decided, okay, it's final, it's done. I have decided that I will punish Rama for this. By how? By kidnapping Sita. He had his plans fixed, courtesy of Akampana, and the fire that was ignited by Akampana was much more ignited. It was like the ghee was put into that fire. The fuel was put into that fire by Shurpanakha, by Shurpanakha's words. So Ravana decided he goes to Maricha, on the doors of Maricha once again. So soon, my lord, welcome back. What happened? He said that the plan stays. We shall go according to the plan. See, this is the plan. You are going to turn yourself into a beautiful golden deer. If there is one thing that women cannot resist, it is gold. Okay. So he knew, Ravana knew the weakness of women. So he said that you are going to turn yourself into a golden deer. Take Rama and Lakshmana away from the hermitage, from the place, from the ashrama. And using this opportune moment, I shall kidnap Sita. And then we will meet again. If you do this, I will give you half of my kingdom. Look at the offer. Can you trust a man like Ravana when he gives these kind of assurances and promises? You don't usually. But still, he so badly wanted, all because of these two people, Akampana and Shurpanakha. Because when Shurpanakha, his own sister, when she said that she wanted Sita to be his wife, and when she said that you deserve her, you are made for each other, that's the word she used, you are made for each other. And Ravana could not control himself. So the weakness of Ravana, and when someone, if at all in their sane mind, if somebody says that Ravana was a good man, slap them, or even better, shoot them. He was not. A man who has no control over his senses, a man who has no sense of control over his thoughts, as a king, he is not a man at all, isn't it? So this was Ravana for you. So Maricha, he begins his counsel. One of the beautiful counsels that you find in Ramayana, the one belongs to Maricha as well. He says that, my lord, Sulabha Purusha Rajan Satatam Priyavadina. There are two sets of people in this world, and you can find plenty of people who are always sweet speaking, who speak very sweetly to you. And they're very easy to find. You can find them in every nook and corner of this world. But apriyasya cha pathyasya vakta shrota cha durlabha. He who tells you the most necessary thing, but it is not that sweet to hear. It's not very pleasant to hear, but it is necessary to hear. The people who speak these kind of words and the people who hear these kind of words are very rare to find in this world, my Lord. And I'm going to tell you that please do not get into the business of Rama. Rama is not for you. And you thought that, and whoever told you that Rama has been banished from his place and he's alone, they are misguiding you. They are misleading you. They have no clue whatsoever who Rama is. He has never spoken a lie in his entire life, and he shall never speak a lie. Okay. Ramo Vigrahavan Dharma. Rama is an epitome of Dharma. The statement, the most famous statement, Ramo Vigrahavan Dharma, made by Maricha in this context. Ramo Vigrahavan Dharma, Sadhu Satyaparākrama. And he is not just the king of Ayodhya. Don't think that Rama is just a king of some kingdom far away from your place. Rama truly is the king of this world, because this entire world belongs to Raki Bhai. No, belongs to Rama. Okay, this entire world belongs to Rama because he has the capability to rule this world. He has what it takes to rule this world. If at all you are seen in front of him, if at all you appear in front of him on the battlefield, you are finished. My Lord, please don't get into a battle with Rama. It's impossible. Let me tell you a story, an anecdote, what happened to me. I was like you once upon a time, as you know. I was a strong man once. So I tried to ruin many sages, their customs and rituals and all those things. I was such kind of a man. I used to do all these evil things. So once Viśvāmitra, he went to Daśaratha to seek Rama's help. Daśaratha declined initially, and then he agreed, and then he sent Rama. The entire story, you know the story. I don't have to repeat it again and again. So this fellow came and he was protecting Viśvāmitra's yaga, but I thought that he's a boy. He was a 14-year-old boy back then. He did not even have a mustache back in those days, Rama. I thought that what can this little fellow do to me? I was very arrogant in my approach, and I approached Viśvāmitra's yaga to ruin that yaga, and he shot an arrow at me. I can still feel the tremors of that arrow that Rama shot me that long ago. I still can feel that. Not just that, I think there is no other greater sin. These are the words of Maricha to his own lordship, to Ravana. There is no greater sin than forcing yourself on other women. Paradara abhimarshat tunanyat papataram mahat. There is nothing sinful than forcing yourself on someone else's wife. You have forced yourself on many women, many, countless women. You have kidnapped them, you have brought them, you have bought them, bought everything. There is no count for all the activities that you have done with your fair share of women. Leave Sita behind. Sita is an unknown fire. You are going to act with fire. Don't do this, my Lord. This is not going to end well, neither for you, nor for me, nor for the entire people of Lanka. Please restrain yourself from this chaos that you are getting into. If you want to enjoy the rest of your life, if you want to enjoy the pleasure, the luxury of life that you have, please don't think about Rama. Please don't even think about touching Sita. Because the moment you set your eyes on Sita, you are going to be finished. Because I once mistook Rama. I underestimated Rama, and I still can feel the tremors here. Not just that, he says that even to this day, I get nightmares of Rama. All of a sudden, I see Rama holding his bow and an arrow in his hand. I see him. Not just that, forget about Rama, Ravana, my dear, my Lord, forget about Rama. If I even hear the letter Ra, if somebody wants to utter the word Ratna in front of me, I get scared. Rakaradini namani Ramatrastasya Ravana Ratnani cha Rathashchaiva Mitra Sanjanayanti. If somebody wants to say a word Ratna in front of me or Ratha, because they begin with the letter, with the syllable Ra, that scares me. Because Rama begins with letter Ra. Rama ಎಂಬ ಎರಡಕ್ಷರದ ಮಹಿಮೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವೇನು ಬಲ್ಲೆವೋ ನೀನು ಬಲ್ಲೆಯೋ ಹುಲ್ಲು ಮನುಜ, something like that. Now the great Purandradasa, I think so, he was the one who said that. So Marija also knew the greatness of Rama. Said that even the letter Ra scares me. Aham tasya prabhavagnya. I know what Rama is. Okay, because I have faced him on the battlefield. You are not meant to stand in front of him. It's impossible to win or defeat Rama on the battlefield. So please don't think about it. Rane Ramena yuddhasva kshamam vakru Ravana nate Rama Kathalahari. See, if you really want to fight thinking that you won't come back, you won't live again. But please don't do Rama Katha in front of me. Nate Rama Katha Karya Yadimam Drashtamicchasi. If you want to see your dearest person, your most favorite person, me, that is, Maricha is saying this about himself. If you want to see me alive, please don't do Rama Katha in front of me. A man who was so much afraid of Rama was saying this to Ravana. Now, Ravana got angry. Did I ask you for your opinion? I sought your help. If you want to help, help. Otherwise, keep your mouth shut. I did not ask for your opinion. Did I come here for your counseling? Did I ask you to give me counsel? Whether should I approach Sita or not? I came with a plan. I asked you, I sought your help. I offered you half of my kingdom. Either you do help my cause, or I will kill you. I will behead you right away. Why? Because you are disobeying your Lord. Do you know what is the punishment when you disobey your Lord? You will be beheaded. He faces with a dilemma now. Who? Maricha. Either he gives in and supports Ravana's cause. He becomes an auxiliary in Ravana's cause, Ravana's action, or he dies at the hands of Ravana. He will be beheaded mercilessly by Ravana. He further goes on. He tries his level best, Maricha. He exhausts himself by telling Ravana that please don't get into this act. You don't know what you are getting into. Ask me. I have experienced it. Bhukta Bhogi. I have seen what Rama is. Somehow I have survived. Maybe I have survived to tell you the tale of Rama. What Rama is. Please don't get into it. Or maybe Pareta Kalpahi Gatayusho Naraha. People who are about to die, usually who have very less number of years left to live, they usually don't listen to good counsel. They usually don't hear to good advices. They don't do good with good advices. I think your time has come. So there is no point in arguing with you. So fine. Let your wish be my command. I am at your disposal. I shall take the form of a golden deer. So this is how the idea, the concept of golden deer was conceptualized. It took its shape in the minds of Ravana, courtesy of Akampana and fueled by Shurpanakha. Ravana thought this idea of kidnapping Sita. The golden deer appeared in front of that ashram. The rest, what happened, we shall see in the coming week. This is where we will end the story today. If you have any questions, you can definitely ask them. Is there any reason why Rama chose south for Vanavasam? No. The forests were all towards south. That's all. So The forests were mostly towards south. So he started exploring one jungle after the other, one part of forest after the other part of the forest. So he has not even touched the borders of Karnataka, don't worry. If you consider Karnataka as the southern part, the entry into southern world of today's India, he has not even touched the tip of Karnataka. You know Hampi, the Vijayanagara kingdom? Hampi was the capital of Sugriva and Vali's kingdom. It's not even come there yet. It's still a very long way. He's still in the borders of Madhya Pradesh. Don't worry, still in the borders of Madhya Pradesh. So, all right. That's the geography of Ramayana.
So I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead. Yes.
So you said that Sita is like, I know you're not covered that, but to attract a woman, you give gold. Like gold is something that you can't resist. But Sita has given up such a huge kingdom. Like all the gold, if you melted that golden horse also, the gold that you get from that would be nothing compared to what she's given up in the kingdom. So why would she give up that and then be attracted to this?
Yeah, I think that question will be answered in the coming episode as well. I mean, she gives her reasons why she wants that golden deer.
Okay.
She says that if you can catch it alive, well and good. We can domesticate it. We can keep it as our pet. Or if you cannot get it alive, if you have to kill it, then we will take the skin of the golden deer back to Ayodhya. Wouldn't it be nice? Even if you have plenty of gold back in your kingdom, wouldn't it be nice to have a souvenir from Dandakaranyam? 14 years you stayed in forest. What did you bring back to Ayodhya? Nothing. You came Khali Hats from Dandakaranya. We shall take the skin of golden deer. How beautiful would it look? See, she's not wrong, right? That's the kind of idea you get when you see a golden deer for the first time in your life. And the Dandakaranya had already thrown so many surprises to her. She, for the first time, saw a giant like Viradha.
Mm-hmm.
So, if such a person can exist, if a giant can live and appear in front of your eyes, why not a golden deer?
Yeah. Then she could have taken part of Viradha's skin, no? And decorated that. Like when his shoulder was cut, that will be more like victorious.
Yes. So she had plenty of reasons to believe that she wanted this golden deer. So,
Okay.
dead or alive, gold is gold. It doesn't matter.
No, but like you said, she's already spent 10 years in forest. Like by that time, all your like desires and this material,
her desires had gone away,
gone down.
But,
so I'm just curious.
But her desires had definitely gone away. But what about the fact of taking a souvenir with her? We usually do, right? When we visit a new place, we definitely want to take some souvenir back to our place. So she wanted to take this, and she says that. She actually says that in the coming episode, where she says that it would really look good back in our place in Ayodhya. And just imagine the look on the faces of our family people when they see this the skin of this golden deer. She was very much fascinated with it.
Yeah, but after all, I'm saying after all this desire, she didn't even get to go back.
Yeah, that's why I said the major junction has arrived. This is where it takes. This is like the Rajiv Chowk of Delhi Metro. And if you have visited Delhi, you would know Rajiv Chowk is like the heart of Delhi Metro. You can take any line from Rajiv Chowk. Okay. So it's just like that, or it's like, where people change from that one junction, you get various other routes. So this is exactly where Ramayana could have gone anywhere from this point, from the Shurpanakha episode. It could have gone anywhere. But it took a very unwanted turn, which looks unwanted at this moment, but Sukhodarakam Bhavishyati. All's well that ends well. So it does end well in the future. Okay. Yes, Ramya ma'am, yes, you have a question.
So what was Sita's like, expressions when Shurpanakha had come and Rama and Lakshmana were cracking jokes. So what was her expressions and
Yeah, it's a very interesting question. But unfortunately, Valmiki has not highlighted on that part. He has not mentioned her reactions or emotions, anything like that. He has kept a mum on that. But I'm sure that she was enjoying the little the jargon that was going on between these brothers. She definitely would have enjoyed it because it was good fun.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I think there are two messages which are directed towards me in the chat box. Okay, is it the same old Vaishnava Dhanush? I don't think so. It's a brand new one. It's a different one. It's a different Vaishnava Dhanush. And then did he grow beard during Vanavasam? Again, unfortunately, I don't know whether he did or not, because Valmiki doesn't describe Rama in that sort. And any special reason for number 14,000? Absolutely yes. What is that speciality? I don't know. There definitely is. It must denote something. 14,000. See, you don't simply blurt out numbers, especially when we are reading literature like Ramayana or Mahabharata. They don't simply blurt out any number that comes to their mind. They mean something when they use that particular number. 24,000 shlokas, 14,000 men, 14 years. So it has got some significance. Unfortunately, I don't know what is the significance, but I can assure you that there is some significance. That much I can do.
Sir, I have one more question.
Yes, please.
So you told me, you said about this, like kind of like mockery, like kind of light-hearted moment that they had. So in Mahabharata also we see that it is like Duryodhana assumes that when he tripped in that Indraprastha, like Draupadi laughed. That's what really irked him.
Yes.
That's what he wanted to take revenge. So is this a lesson for us that, don't unnecessarily laugh anywhere in public, only with people you're really close to, you can take the liberty.
Absolutely. Even in Mahabharata, actually Yudhishthira begs Bhima not to laugh. It was not Draupadi's laugh that actually irked Duryodhana that much. It was Bhima's laugh that actually hurt him more, because it hurts your ego when your counterpart laughs at you. You neglect people because, fine, okay, it's her swabhavam, it's her behavior, it's a natural thing. But Bhima, he should not have laughed, but he did. And interestingly, they say that Bhima had Krishna's backing for that. Interestingly.
Okay. Because like in one of the things that on TV I saw, like Krishna warned Draupadi not to unnecessarily laugh and keep a control on her laughter.
Subject to interpretation, I guess. It's subject to interpretation. You can send a good message with this. But again, why did Krishna back Bhima on laughing at Duryodhana? Is because everything was going hunky-dory between Kauravas and Pandavas. 18 Akshauhinis. Those many people, they had accumulated. Those many wrong people were already on this earth. And the Lord, Krishna, had to take care of them. His intention, we can see only this far, but he can see far from what we can see. So his idea was, in order to initiate that spark between these two, ignite that spark, you need this kind of a situation. So this could be the reason why Krishna was backing Bhima, but definitely we should not laugh because it's not part of our etiquette. We should never laugh at someone who does such things, and that's why he said that Kruraihi Anaryaihi, two people with whom you should never kid, with whom you should never joke. Cruel people, and also those who are uncultured. So you don't mess with them. So, sorry, there is one more question in the chat box. Why Lakshmana cut off nose and ear of Shurpanakha as she could change her form? Yeah, it's because, you are not supposed to kill a woman. You're not supposed to kill a woman. So you can only defame her. What is the most important thing for a woman? Her beauty. And if you cut off her nose and ears, her beauty is gone. So that's the punishment. That's the kind of thing that Lakshmana did. Okay, so if there are no more questions, then I think we can end the session today. Okay, so we will see in the next, in the coming month, 2 weeks from now, we will meet again. So thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you, sir.